This is the luxury world. Get inspired with us today and tomorrow. Rolex is more than a watch brand. It is a psychological institution, a cultural symbol, and a masterclass in branding. The price tags attached to many of its timepieces, sometimes exceeding $80,000, are not simply reflective of manufacturing costs or materials used. Instead, they are the culmination of a carefully crafted strategy that taps into human psychology, social perception, and controlled distribution. In this video brought to you by the luxury world, we will explore the underlying mechanisms Rolex uses to cultivate desire and convert a simple wristwatch into one of the most powerful status symbols in modern history. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, make sure to do so to stay informed on future updates. The value of a Rolex cannot be justified through mere functionality. Numerous other watch brands offer equal or superior horological capabilities at a fraction of the price. Yet Rolex persists as the gold standard in luxury watches. This is not due to its specifications alone. It is because Rolex has mastered the art of controlling how its products are perceived. A watch, in this context, becomes less about telling time and more about signaling status, success, and refined taste. Rolex does not sell watches. It sells what the watch represents. One of the most potent psychological tools Rolex wields is scarcity. Authorized dealers receive limited stock, and even then, access to popular models is tightly regulated. Prospective buyers are often placed on waitlists for months or years. This artificial scarcity creates a sense of urgency and elevates the perceived value of the product. By making a watch difficult to obtain, Rolex positions it as an exclusive reward, not a transaction. The emotional weight of finally acquiring one after a prolonged wait adds to the watch's allure. Rolex maintains an iron grip on its authorized dealer network. Selling practices are meticulously controlled, and retailers are often encouraged to build long-term relationships with clients rather than fulfill immediate demand. This strategy turns Rolex boutiques into psychological theaters. Instead of being met with enthusiastic sales pitches, buyers are often told what they cannot have. That friction, the denial of access, actually increases desire. The act of being chosen to receive a Rolex makes the purchase feel more like induction into a prestigious club than a commercial transaction. Rolex has invested decades in crafting stories around its products. From Edmund Hillary's Everest expedition to James Bond's cinematic flair, the brand has associated itself with adventure, achievement, and timeless masculinity. Each reference to a historic moment embeds Rolex deeper into the cultural psyche. The watches are not just machines, they are icons linked to bold milestones. Despite the heavy emphasis on symbolism and exclusivity, Rolex ensures its watches remain technically excellent. The brand's in-house production, proprietary alloys, and COSC-certified movements anchor its prestige and engineering credibility. Yet the genius lies in how these technical accomplishments are folded into marketing. Rolex does not dwell on specs. It lets excellence speak quietly, reinforcing that the real power of the brand lies in owning a product that does not need to boast. In this way, Rolex watches straddle two worlds: horological integrity and emotional luxury. Price points within the Rolex catalog are meticulously calibrated. They are high enough to feel aspirational, but not so unreachable as to become irrelevant. This balance plays directly into the human mind's perception of luxury. When a product is priced dramatically higher than its alternatives, the assumption is that it must be better. Rolex leverages this principle to its advantage. The price itself becomes part of the appeal, signaling not only the quality of the product, but also the buyer's social standing. The $80,000 watch becomes less about horology and more about hierarchy. Scarcity at the retail level has created a vibrant secondary market where Rolex models command significant premiums. Ironically, the gray market further fuels Rolex's desirability. Seeing a stainless steel Daytona selling for double its retail price reinforces the idea that Rolex watches are assets rather than consumables. Buyers are subtly indoctrinated into the belief that purchasing a Rolex is a financially rational decision, an investment, not an indulgence. This narrative, though not officially promoted by Rolex, works in the brand's favor. Value retention and appreciation have become powerful incentives for new buyers. Rolex rarely uses traditional celebrity endorsements in the way other brands do. Instead of flashy ad campaigns, it aligns itself with respected public figures, scientists, athletes, explorers, and artists who embody long-term excellence. This positioning allows Rolex to avoid the volatility of trend-based marketing and instead root itself in credibility. When someone sees a world-renowned tennis champion or pioneering deep-sea diver wearing a Rolex, the association is clear. Rolex is the companion of the accomplished. This use of social proof drives desirability through admiration rather than envy. Owning a Rolex is not just about possessing a luxury object, it becomes part of an individual's identity. The watch acts as a mirror, reflecting what the wearer wants the world to see: success, taste, confidence. In a world increasingly shaped by curated self-images, Rolex becomes a prop in the theater of personal branding. The wearer is not just buying a timepiece, they are purchasing a symbol to wear on the wrist every day. And because symbols speak louder than words, the Rolex silently does the talking. Unlike many luxury brands that saturate every media channel with ads, Rolex maintains a reserved marketing strategy. It often focuses on placements that align with high achievement, such as Wimbledon, Formula One, or the Oscars. This restraint gives the impression that Rolex is above the noise. It does not need to beg for attention, but it already has it. The fewer times a brand appears in someone's feed, the rarer and more prestigious it feels. Rolex is limited, but strategic visibility suggests not just exclusivity, but timelessness. Rolex has become a default choice in the luxury watch world, not necessarily because of innovation, but because of tradition. Buyers who come into wealth often follow established patterns of luxury consumption, and Rolex sits at the top of that pyramid. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle where ownership becomes habitual across generations. Fathers hand them down to sons. Graduates receive them as gifts. Entrepreneurs reward themselves with them. Rolex does not sell individual watches, it's selling rituals, milestones, and transitions. There is also a deeper psychological dimension at play, especially after someone makes the purchase. Once a significant amount of money is spent on a watch, the mind justifies the decision through the lens of ownership bias. People begin to emotionally defend their purchase. They double down on the perceived value, brag about accuracy, admire craftsmanship, and evangelize the brand to others. Over the decades, Rolex has permeated popular culture. From rap lyrics to Hollywood blockbusters, it has been referenced, flaunted, and symbolized as a shorthand for wealth and success. These cultural placements act as subconscious affirmations. Without needing to spend heavily on product placement, Rolex has become ingrained in music videos, movies, and art collections. As a result, cultural osmosis ensures the brand remains top of mind for new generations without needing to constantly reinvent itself. The power of repetition across media cannot be underestimated. Interestingly, Rolex does not chase trends or pivot to modern styles with reckless urgency. In a market saturated by flashy, limited edition, skeletonized, oversized, or smart connected timepieces, Rolex sticks to a formula. Its designs are evolutionary, not revolutionary. This consistency builds trust and creates predictability, which, paradoxically, makes the brand feel even more luxurious. Buyers know what to expect, and the lack of radical change gives the impression that Rolex is above fashion. It becomes a fixed star in the shifting galaxy of luxury. In the end, Rolex's ability to sell watches for tens to thousands of dollars comes down to something far more intricate than materials or mechanics. It is a masterclass in behavioral economics, branding psychology, and cultural engineering. The brand has built a fortress around its products, not by erecting walls, but by building narratives, forging associations, and leveraging human emotion. What are your thoughts on the topic we shared in this video? Let us know by leaving a comment and giving this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to The Luxury World for more insights into the world of luxury timepieces.